Able to view my slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So last class actually we have seen energy release rate. Okay, so what is energy release rate? This is very important factor, G1. G1 means the energy release rate with respect to mode 1. With respect to mode 1. Suppose you have a, just a minute. Yeah. This is the member. Okay. So you have the load acting like this. Okay. So this is the crack having crack length A. What is actually energy release rate? Suppose when you apply load, okay, when you apply load, okay, how much energy? Because you have energy everywhere. You have the energy everywhere on the system. Especially, okay, the energy will vary because you have crack. So the vicinity of the crack, okay, what is the energy? What is the energy? Basically, you know, already we have discussed that actually this is the energy. This is the energy creating because of the crack expansion, not because of the crack. So there is an energy, already we have seen, no, the relaxation techniques. Okay, so the, the energy in this zone is in this magnitude. Pi sigma square A by E. Phi is nothing but the stress. A is nothing but your crack length. E is nothing but the material constant. E. The material which is made of something, no, it can be steel or aluminum or brass or copper, whatever it is. I can easily find the G. The G is the energy release rate, I would say, because you know the definition, what exactly the rate means. Energy release is, okay, energy release rate is nothing but the energy released per unit extension. Here, unit extension. Energy released per unit extension of crack front per unit thickness of the body per crack tip. This is unit thickness. Body is unit thickness. One crack actually. Suppose I have two cracks, then it will be two. What the two edges means? Suppose I have something like this, then two edges. This is per edge. You need not divide by two because it's only one side only here. So this is the energy created because of the stress. On the other hand, this particular material is having its own carrying capacity. That is called critical energy release rate. This is with respect to mode 1. This is material character. This is material character. This is because of the load it is coming. Okay, because of the load it is coming. Now, how can we ensure that the crack will form or not? The G1 is greater than its critical thing, means obviously the crack will develop. Okay. So that is what all it is. So energy release rate unit is Newton per meter. Okay. Then, okay, the resistance. Resistance. What is resistance? When the crack is supposed to move, there should be some resistance offered by the material. This is the carrying capacity. G1c is the capacity at which it will tear, it will break, it will broke. What is the resistance? It is nothing but 2 gamma S. Okay, gamma S. So, okay, so that's a rate is not used here because resistance they are not using rate. This is where actually last class we have stopped. Okay, now G in terms of change in potential energy. G, energy release rate G in terms of change in potential energy. Okay, potential energy is what? P into delta. Potential energy is P into delta. Let us consider the case of an incremental increase in the crack area delta A. So this is my crack. So first crack is increased this one because step by step only crack will increase, you know very well. So this is what delta A because it got unit thickness, no? So this one, that is thickness P. So delta A into B is delta capital A. Sometimes it will be multiplied with the 2. Why? There are two surfaces will create, top and bottom. So consider the case of an incremental increase. Incremental increase means what? Every time this crack will grow. You know that next cycle what will happen? The crack will extend here. From that again this process will start. This is first occurrence, delta A. A is the crack length, delta A is the incremental crack length. A is the crack length, delta A is the incremental crack length, after which this will come here. So in any crack propagation process, you will have n number of delta A's. Because crack growth means delta A, delta A, delta A, delta A, delta A, like that it goes. So to cause this crack growth, okay, incremental energy is done by the external forces and the strain energy within the body of the component changed by delta U. Because once the crack growth, you will have something like potential energy, strain energy, everything will form. So the available energy is okay G1 into delta A. This is rate. So it has to be multiplied with delta A. Kutrema. Just a minute, please. So the energy, the available energy, or the energy is G1 into delta A. Okay, this is rate. This has to be multiplied with area. Provides the energy balance. So what is this? Is the energy. What is basically this energy, residual energy? This is the difference between the potential energy and the strain energy. This is potential energy, this is strain energy. Or this is equal to that. This is equal to that. Isn't it now? Whatever energy, okay, is equal to this. So dividing the above equation, okay, by delta A and taking limits delta A tends to 0. Okay, so dividing delta A, so this delta A get cancelled. Okay, so G1, okay, is equal to, okay, d by dA into U minus W extension. That incremental quantity is taken outside. D by dA. Basically delta A only. People can say delta A or dA. These are delta A or dA. Okay, both are integral quantities only. So this minus came because they slightly interchange with respect to strain energy and the external energy. They just interchanged. So basically, what is this U minus WT? It is the potential energy. This is potential energy. This is potential energy. So G1 is nothing but, okay, change in potential energy with respect to area. So how to get G1? G1 when you have the potential energy or when you, that is change. Delta A tends to 0. That means every small increment. Because this 10 to 0 means what? Very, very small. This is very, very small. Infinitesimally small. So I want to find the energy release rate of any system. G1 is always positive for a crack studied for its problem growth. Then only the growth, it should be positive. So what is G? It is nothing but actually the differential quantity of potential energy with respect to area. Once I know, I can easily get the G1. I can easily get the G1. What is, I told you know, what is delta A? P into delta A. P is the width, thickness of the specimen. What is delta A? Incremental crack length. So in the above equation, okay, the bottom it was dA, that I can easily replace with B into dA. This is in crack length form. This is area form. So minus 1 by d pi into this one. This is this one in terms of crack length. Already we have seen two cases, isn't it? No, one is constant load case, another one is constant displacement case. There we found, isn't it? No, what is del phi? Half into just a minute. Hello. Next week interview இருக்குங்க. Next week interview இருக்கும். Right. Okay. சரி. இந்த coming Saturday இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். உங்களுக்கு information வரும். Right. So already we found, okay, the potential energy. When few classes back, when we were dealing the constant load and the constant displacement discussion, there we found the incremental potential energy. Incremental potential energy. For constant load, how it was? 1 by 2 into P into dV. V is what? Displacement. P is the load. There, okay, the load, I think, okay, you know that P applied. Likewise, we applied no P. Double cantilever beam. Okay, and also that was equal to the strain energy. That was equal to strain energy. Similarly, in the constant displacement case, we found 1 by 2 into V into dP. So here displacement, here change in load, here change in displacement. That's only difference. So this is the equal to strain energy. This is equal to minus strain energy. So what is that? Basically, ultimately G1. Okay, what is the d pi? Is the delta U. Delta U. So especially in this case, constant load case, okay, this minus and this minus get cancelled. 1 by P one by B du by dA. This is the energy release rate, 1 by B into. So this is 1 by B du by dA. Du by dA. What we are doing, actually we are trying to trace the G1 because this is important quantity. This is important quantity. Why? Whether the crack will extend or not. Because it has to be compared. It has to be compared with critical rate. So I should know because it's an energy. So energy always very tricky. So how to grab the energy in a system? That is all the process we are looking. Okay, we are looking. This is what already we have seen. Okay, constant load. Okay, strain energy is P1 into dV. And also we got external work P1 into dV. This is external work, this is internal work. So difference is this minus this is this one. That is nothing but our delta U. This is what it is given here. How it came now to recapitulate the theory what in some time back. For constant displacement, same argument. We did the same thing and this fellow is 0. So automatically this minus this, automatically this will become this. Isn't it now? Del pi is what? Delta W minus delta U. This is what all it is, which is nothing but strain energy. Okay, so you got it, no? Now, how to get my G1? Okay, according to this case, du by dA. Change in strain energy with respect to length, I can get my energy release rate. I can get energy release rate. This is one approach. Then we have another approach to get the same energy release rate. That is called compliance approach. Compliance approach. You know that, no? F is equal to K into D. 1 by K is the compliance. 1 by K is the compliance. This is stiffness basically. What is this K? Stiffness. This is force. This is displacement. This is the equilibrium equation. Have you seen this equation?
Yes, sir, in FEM. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Where you see?
FEM, sir.
Yes. Who took FEM?
Sir, you only, sir.
Sir, you only took, sir.
I see. I forgot. Okay. Yeah. Again, it was online class, no? FEM?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you confident in FEM? How about what is the confidence level in FEM? Hello?
Can solve problems, sir. And
what level of problems you can solve? Can you solve all the problems in FEM?
No, sir.
Through FEM? Through FEM, not in FEM. One
sir,
dimensional?
Yes, sir. I mean, some problems it will take some time, sir. If, for example, more constants, more assumptions we have to take, hence we can solve it easier. But if you are trying to take exactly, means it will be difficult, sir.
I see. But you know, you can easily differentiate one-dimensional approach, two-dimensional approach, 3D approach, 1D elements, 2D elements, 3D elements.
Yes, sir.
Discretization. Element stiffness, development of element stiffness matrix.
Matrix, yes, sir.
Yeah, assembly of element stiffness matrix.
Finding the stress.
Solution process.
Yes, sir.
And some extent the integration, element deriving, no? Element
yes,
energy deriving through integration.
Yes, sir,
1 point integration, 2 by 2 integration, 3 by 3 integration. Huh?
Yes, sir. Then the triangular method.
So
CST,
elements,
constant
different
stiffness.
elements. Yeah, constant
Yes,
strain triangle. Why it is constant?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, I think you know everything. It not necessarily you have to solve a problem through method, through hand. Not impossible.
Yes, sir.
Because more than 3 by 3, 2 by 2, you cannot do it. No, that extent you
yes,
know,
sir.
isn't it?
True,
So once you experience through a finite any finite element software, then you will be master.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that part was missing because we did not get time to explore those things, because I think that time it was an week. It is been preponed, no, your examination.
Yes, sir. There was preponed. Yes, sir.
So I was thought of 1 or 2 classes to spend on how to compare the things in FEM packages. That got missed. Okay, so you guys start learning ANSYS or Abacus, self-motivated way. You can do that.
Okay, sir. We'll try.
Yeah. So you know everything in FEM. Okay. No, you have to say, you confidently you should say yes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Confidently you have to say yes. We know FEM. Okay. No doubt on that.
Okay, sir.
Right. So this 1 by K is nothing but the compliance approach. Probably you might have learned the virtual force method, virtual displacement method. Okay, so this is nothing but actually 1 by K is something like virtual force method, something like that. So here we are developing the energy release by compliance approach. Compliance approach. What is this approach? Okay. All we know, stiffness of the component decreases with increase in crack length. That we know. The moment crack advances, the stiffness of the structure will decrease. What will happen to the energy? Will the energy decrease or increase when the crack advances? You people question. Students, the question to you, when the crack advances, whether the energy will decrease or increase?
Sir, it will decrease, sir.
Decrease, sir. Strain energy decrease.
Everybody? All or everyone saying decreasing?
Yes, sir.
That girl is not at all talking, no? I could not hear her voice at all. Hello? Is she there? What's her name?
Sandita,
Hello?
sir.
Sandita, where are you? Hello? Sandita? I think she opened the thing and she left, I believe. Sandita? Probably somebody is trying, no? Sandita? Hello? Can we proceed? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Others
She's
are-
not there? Anyway,
she
fine.
took it, sir. Network
problem.
problem.
Sir, yes.
Ah. Hello, Sandita.
Sir, I'm having internet problems, sir.
Okay. Where are you from?
Sir, Bidar, sir.
Okay, right. So, when the crack advances, the energy will increase or decrease, ma? Hello, Santita. Okay, guys.
sorry,
According to you, pardon?
Can you please repeat, sir?
When the crack advances in the structure,
Yes.
the strain energy will increase or the energy will increase or decrease, ma?
If it is advancing, it will decrease, sir. If the hello.
All of you decreasing. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, just a minute. What is the statement? Have you seen this slide earlier? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. GI is always positive for a crack studied for its probability.
What will happen? Energy. It
So
will.
the energy of the structure will decrease, no, sir, because
No.
sir.
Stiffness only will decrease.
Yes, sir.
Energy increase and decreases.
Yes, it will decrease and increase.
Yeah, both will happen simultaneously.
Yes, sir,
Because
yes, sir.
crack advancing, closing, advancing, closing, advancing, closing. This process, no? Simultaneously both will happen.
So both constant displacement
Yeah,
and
constant displacement, constant load. One case it will decrease, one case it will increase. Decrease. So both will happen in the process of growth. So, okay, be careful. Energy will, increase and decrease, increase and decrease, increase and decrease. Okay?
yes, sir.
This is what the statement. Very important thing. I don't know how you forgot this particular statement. So, the compliance approach, okay, so that's what the stiffness will decrease, okay, no doubt. Compliance means what? Inverse of K, inverse of stiffness. 1 by K is compliance. Why it is so important for us? In fracture mechanics, it is easier to deal with the compliance rather with the stiffness. Okay, right. So in general, okay, in general, this is the equilibrium equation. The load displacement relation is given by like this. This is the equilibrium. This is what I have written. Okay, F is equal to K into D. This is our notation. This is P. This is because their displacement is V. Because you know, no. So far we are talking about this is Y axis. That's what they are saying. It's a V. For you, it is D. I told you many times. Okay, don't confuse yourself. Sometimes I may use this, that, like that. Or fundamentally, you know very well. Then you don't bother about all these things. So this is the equilibrium equation. F is equal to K into U or P is equal to K into V. Any idea when I can use small k, when I can use capital K? Any idea from students? Friends? Hello.
Sir, is
When
it that
we will use small k, when we will use capital K?
global and local, sir?
Can you a little bit extend the terms? Correct. You are
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Can you little bit extend?
Sir, capital K is global stiffness matrix, and this is the local stiffness matrix or element stiffness matrix. You can say small k.
Yes. This is individual element, small k. Capital K, assembly of the structure.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Full stiffness
Got it,
matrix.
sir.
Okay, so that okay. So I just want to check.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, and another one question, sir.
Please, Pa.
Sir, we are taking this complaints because it is hard to calculate it by keeping just a stiffness, sir.
No, Ma. When we end up the statement, you will understand better. This
Okay,
discussion. Sir. After this discussion, you will understand why compliance is easy than dealing with stiffness.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Just wait. So, okay, this is the equilibrium equation. P is equal to K into V. This is the equilibrium equation. This equation can be written in terms of, okay, V is equal to 1 by K into P. This 1 by K is nothing but my C into P. Okay, compliance, C into P. Okay, now, okay, energy release rate by compliance approach. There are two things. We have two cases, no? One is constant load, another one is constant displacement. What is constant load? In which the displacement of load point increases as the crack grows. Displacement of the load point increases. On the other hand, constant displacement where the load, okay, at the load point decreases as the crack grows. Both will happen. Isn't it now? See, here is there. Okay. So the P will increase. Then suddenly this comes, a drop will happen. A drop will happen. That drop, then increase. That drop, increase. Okay. That is what all it is. What is this constant load and constant displacement? Because in the process, no, heavy load will come. Suddenly crack comes means the load will jerk, come down. Isn't it now? Then the next moment crack will advances again. It goes up, come down, goes up, come down. That is the process. That is where the energy increases, energy decreases. Energy increases, energy decreases. Likewise. but stiffness will keep on reduce. So for constant load, I know very well the incremental potential energy is my strain energy and my potential energy. I think you know that, no? Pi is the total potential energy. This is strain energy. This is potential energy. All these terms you supposed to learn through energy mechanics. Probably in your plus 2 you might have learned. Total potential energy is nothing but sum of the strain energy plus potential energy. That's a TPE. That's a pi. Okay? Don't confuse. Both are potential energy only, but this is total potential energy. When you talk about pi, total potential energy. When you talk about W, it is the potential energy. This is strain energy. So, this I know. I got it now. Half into P into delta V. Potential energy also I know. P into dV. Okay. So what is the difference? Half into P into dV. Now I need to replace. Okay. So what is the relation? V equal to C into P, where I got earlier, because I need to replace this dV. This is the previous slide we have seen, no? Here. So here you can take the differentiation on two sides. dV into, this is chain rule, C into dP plus P. So here it is a constant load. Obviously this is going to 0. So dV is equal to P into dC. So dV is nothing but P into dC. This is in terms of compliance. In terms of compliance. So I can rewrite this particular equation half into P into dC, or half into P square d square. So what is G1? I know very well. Already we have seen. Del pi by del A tends to 0. This is the limit del A tends to 0. This is what? Energy release rate. I'll know very well what is delta A? B into dA. B into delta A. B into. So once I solve, okay, this into this, I will get this. G1 P square dC by dA into 2B. Okay. Similarly, okay, for constant displacement. Okay. We will approach, okay. We will approach, you will get the consistent result. That still it is a half baked only. We will complete it. Now we are switching over to constant displacement. What is the constant displacement? Total potential energy is sum of the strain energy into potential energy. This, in this particular case, we know this is 0. That is what it is 0. So this is what the del phi. So the dP I need to replace in terms of dC. So for that process, here actually, from here we are doing dV into, here nothing is 0. Here dV is 0, because why? That is 0. So I can get C dP into P dC, because this I'm bringing here. So dP is P into dC by C. Okay, PC by D. So just if I put this into this equation, then I take the differentiation, okay, then I will get my G1 energy release rate in the case of constant displacement 1 by 2b into v into dp by dA. dp by dA. Okay, so dp by dA. Now, okay, this we have seen. Okay, this all these things we have seen. So the dp by dA. Okay, so 1 by 2b. Okay, for v, I can put Cp. dp by dA. Okay, dp by dA is okay p into p by c dc by dA. I can do that here. You can see here. So once you solve it, you will get G1 is equal to p square by 2p dc by dA. So either through constant displacement or through constant load, okay, you will get the consistent G. You will get the consistent G in the compliance approach. Both are same, identical. Both are identical because it cannot be inconsistent. Because it cannot be inconsistent. Because it cannot be inconsistent. Dealing with compliance approach. Now, let us okay, look for the final things in terms of a practical problem. Energy release rate for double cantilever beam. You know cantilever. So cantilever is this, isn't it now? So here two such things are there. That's what it is. Cantilever 1, cantilever 2. This is a standard problem. Double cantilever beam, DCB specimen. In any fracture mechanics, if you come across or if you will read, you will see DCB, DCB, DCB. It's a standard testing procedure. You know, when you talk about the Young's modulus, no, you will have tensile test, isn't it? No, tensile test. It's a standard tensile test specimen. Likewise, when you deal with the fracture mechanics, many times you will come across a DCB. What is that? Doubly cantilever beam. Why? This is a specimen one can get or one can use. Okay, or to test your material or to get the energy release rate, all these things, people used to take up this particular specimen. Doubly cantilever beam, double cantilever beam. Why? Because there are two legs here. So let us try with this one. Okay. So what is the deflection of a cantilever beam? Simply, I have a beam. P is acting, L is acting. Okay. What is the deflection? Del. Okay. P L cube by 3EI. Isn't it now? This is the strength of material approach. Standard PL cube by 3I. So PL instead of L, what is my length? L. Instead of L, it is A. PL cube by 3EI. What is this? This is this particular distance, delta. What is V? 2 times the delta. So 2 by 3 PA cube by EA. What is that? Displacement. What is that? Displacement. Now, okay, compliance approach. What is C? V by P. So, okay, V by P. So if I do so, what will happen? Okay, a P will be there. It get cancelled. Okay, A cube by 3EI. What is that? Compliance. For cantilever beam, what is my I, moment of inertia? You know very well, BD cube by 12. So here, BH cube by 12. This is my cantilever. This is a double cantilever. What is this? This is B. This is your V. Okay, two things. This is one cross section I'm just doing. Okay, so B, this is H. One leg height is H. This is H. H cube by 12. So you can put in the equation 2A. My C is 8A cube by EBH cube. So compliance approach, what is my G1? P square by 2 into D by dA into DC. Instead of C, I can put this value. Once you do the, I will get my G1 as energy release rate as 12 by E into A square by B square, P square by H cube. 12. E means smallness. A means crack length. B means crack width. That is breadth of the beam. P is the amount of load given. H is the depth of the beam. So this is the energy release rate which comes out of the double cantilever beam. See, all I know d pi by dA. What? G. Now only in terms of material constants I could get. I'm able to getting. This is through compliance approach. Okay, compliance approach. We got it. Now, okay, so when we do with this particular test, okay, DCB, double cantilever beam, okay, we have to get the, suppose this G, I should get consistent value or a constant value. Whatever the specimen somebody is using for that particular thing, the G cannot be varying. Yeah, whatever, wherever I should get the consistent value, constant. So what to do? Design of a constant G specimen, because I told you know the DCB specimen is a standard specimen. So whomever doing, they should get the same G. So what to do to get the same G? So they have to maintain certain aspect ratio of the dimensions so that consistently everyone will get the same G. Otherwise, you will get 1 G, I will do 1 by G. That means inconsistency. There is no, then this cannot be a standard test procedure equipment or a setup or the specimen. So what to do to get the constant P? So this is the formula to get 12E by this one. So for constant P, G1 increases a square of the crack length. By modifying the geometric parameters of the specimen, one can design a specimen to have constant G. Because once you increase P, everything will increase. So how to get the constant specimen? Two parameters that can be varied are B and H. Varying B is not desirable because as it affects the nature of the stress field at the crack tip. So I cannot, B means thickness. I cannot change the B. So instead of that, I can vary the H. I can vary the H. If the H is increases such that A square by H cube, then I will get a constant G. The G is the constant. G is the constant. G is the constant. So for limited crack length, a constant D specimen is possible. A limited crack length, it cannot be something like that. There is a reasonable crack length, it is a possible. So in view of large thickness, the crack may not maintain a horizontal plane. So suppose if the crack is increasing, what will happen? It may go somewhere here. Then again I will get inconsistent results. So they will make this kind of notches in the sides so that the crack will only advances in this particular direction. Then only I can get the constant values. So the grooves are all formed. The crack, through that only the crack will go straight. Okay. So when what you call that? Okay. That means you maintain, okay, your heads, okay, in this particular ratio, you will get, okay, you will get the consistent G. Consistent G. Consistent G. Because suppose I make one particular double cantilever for the same material, somebody will do something else, somebody will do something else, then it should have a unique value, no? So when you will get unique value means you have to maintain a ratio with respect to H and A in this particular thing. You will get the consistent value. Why I need like this? This is where actually the research I supposed to do. Because I have created a material. I have created, okay, Shiva metal. What is that material? It is some alloy. Some material I have created. So I need to prove to the society that my material is having, okay, G1, C or G1. Forget about that. G1. So, or this is G1C. This is my material's carrying capacity. This is how the material's carrying capacity. So, I have made this particular double cantilever using my own material. Then I have achieved G1C. So, somebody at somewhere, they have used the same material, but they did a different cross, the different shape means, the different geometry means they may get inconsistency because they did not maintain a ratio between A and H. So that is what, okay, it has been standardized with respect to DCB. You have to make the specimen in this particular ratio. So you will also get the same value what I got. Tomorrow somebody is getting some more material, they can also the same way. So every part of the world somebody tried, they will get the consistently same thing. So that is where this is being made. So the DCB specimen is an important testing procedure in the fracture mechanics, when we can get the shear, the energy release rate. The energy release rate is, okay, in terms of geometry, we can get this 12A square E B square. Similarly, I can get through, if I make my, what you call that, specimen, I can get my G1. I can get my G1. So I can, what is that? Once I have my all these things, so when the crack movement, I can easily get my G1. Easily I can get my G1. There are two ways. One is theoretically I can get this one. Experimentally I can get this one. I can compare. How experimentally I can get? Experimentally you have another techniques. You have so many other techniques to get the G1. Okay, so with that we can stop here. If you have any doubt, I can clarify you. Otherwise, we will see in the next class. Is it okay? Fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine, sir.
Okay, pa. When is your examination, ma? Periodical September.
September 7th it is starting, sir. We have our engineering fracture mechanics exam on 13th.
Of September.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma. So how the notes, my notes are all useful?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. They are useful, sir.
Clear,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Good. Okay, bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye, bye.
Thank you.
Bye, ma.